Hello, I'm Anne-Marie Howard, and welcome to the Dennis Kucinich Presidential Campaign Update for the week of January 21st, 2008. Democrat Dennis Kucinich's performance in the presidential debates has consistently won him high marks in post-debate polls. But lately, the Ohio congressman's unique voice has been missing from national forums. Last week, NBC became the latest debate sponsor to shut Kucinich out. Though Kucinich met the network's published criteria for inclusion and was initially invited to participate, the network soon after rescinded its invitation, announcing that it had decided to change the rules. A court battle over whose First Amendment rights were in jeopardy ensued. After careful review of the matter, Clark County District Court Judge Charles Thompson issued an injunction ordering that Kucinich be included as a matter of fairness. But that decision was reversed by the Nevada Supreme Court just before the debate the following evening. While awaiting that decision, Kucinich offered his blistering assessment of NBC's actions in a live statement broadcast worldwide via satellite from outside the debate location in Las Vegas.
General Electric owns NBC, and General Electric is one of the largest nuclear power contractors in the world. They build nuclear power plants, and they also, of course, want to make sure that Yucca Mountain in Nevada remains a site for the dumping of nuclear waste so that they have a place to put the waste that is created by the plants that they want to build. GE also owns Raytheon, which is a major defense contractor. And of course, they benefit and profit from war. That they have a major network in their portfolio only gives them an opportunity to enhance their power, being able to promote war, even one that was based on lies a few years ago, and being able to promote an energy policy that has been proven to be very expensive and has cost us a lot of jobs, particularly in the industrial Northeast. GE, Raytheon, and NBC have also contributed to candidates who are in the debate today. So they have an interest in excluding someone who disagrees with the promotion of war and the promotion of nuclear power, and they have an interest in narrowing the field to those who believe in their policies. So this is a real danger to our democracy.
With Yucca Mountain having brought the issue of nuclear waste disposal to national attention prior to Saturday's Nevada caucuses, it's worth noting that this is not the first time that General Electric and NBC have faced criticism for censoring discussion of the issue. Examples of which include the 1999 incident, where the network ordered all references to nuclear waste be removed from the dramatic miniseries Atomic Train, and an occasion during a Today Show segment on consumer boycotts in which their guest, National Boycott News editor Todd Putnam, was told by producers not to mention the biggest consumer boycott in the country at the time, that of General Electric over its profiteering from nuclear weapons production. While NBC may have denied Dennis Kucinich entrance into their debate, the award-winning daily news program Democracy Now! Lived up to its name, retroactively extending a fourth seat in the forum to the Ohio congressman. Breaking the sound barrier, Democracy Now! Took the unusual step of rebroadcasting excerpts from the Las Vegas debate and allowing Kucinich the chance to respond to the questions he would have faced had he not been excluded. Host Amy Goodman told the show's national audience, "This is the debate NBC and General Electric didn't want you to hear."
Today, the voice excluded from the Las Vegas Democratic debate, Dennis Kucinich. We put that question that Tim Russert put to you, Congressmember Kucinich, as well as the other candidates in New Hampshire around the withdrawal of troops.
I'm the only person running for president who not only voted against the war, but voted 100% of the time against funding the war. What you've heard here is a bunch of nuancing. They're all saying the same thing, that they will keep troops in Iraq. The troops will be kept there to protect an embassy. The troops will be kept there for counterinsurgency and for training the Iraqi military. Well, the fact of the matter is, we must get out of Iraq. We must end the occupation, close the bases, bring the troops home. We don't have a right to have an embassy there, as we are an occupying army. And any way that the United States government would keep its foot in the door of Iraq is a way that the war will continue, because the occupation is fueling the insurgency. I'm the only one running who had a plan that was introduced immediately after the invasion that called for not only an end to the occupation, closing of the bases, bringing the troops home, but also a parallel process of an international security and peacekeeping force that would move in as our troops leave.
prominent activists from author Gore Vidal to singer Melissa Etheridge have spoken out in recent weeks about big media's exclusion of Kucinich from national debates. Joining them this past Friday was Academy Award and three-time Emmy Award nominee actor James Cromwell, who sat down with us to discuss Kucinich's candidacy. How did you come to be a Dennis Kucinich supporter?
I heard him talk. I support Dennis because Dennis is paradoxically three things that are very dear to my heart. He's a believer. He believes that this system works. He's a realist because he sees what is actually wrong and the solutions to correct it. And he is a revolutionary because the solutions that he applies are antithetical to the solutions that are being given by those people who have the most to gain. And they are convincing us that we are powerless as individuals, powerless as citizens, powerless as middle class, as lower class people, to have any effect at all. And we must give over our power to these millionaires who will tell us how they're going to save the world. But they don't save the world because their interest is not in saving the world. Their interest is in the accumulation of power. And that's the difference between Dennis and every other one of those candidates.
Why would it be so important to NBC to shut Dennis Kucinich out of that debate? What are they afraid of? Are they...
Well, you have to follow the money. Yeah, you have to know who owns what and what's at stake, what's really at stake in those debates. MSNBC is owned by General Electric. General Electric is the largest provider of nuclear energy, the plants themselves, the technology, and they own Raytheon. And Raytheon is one of the largest, and they are themselves, Electric Boat, and all the things that they own, supporter of the war economy and the war in Iraq. All we need is the will. Not the will of the candidates, except for Dennis. Your will, your intelligence, your hopefulness, your belief. That's what changes the world.
Should a candidate have to swear a loyalty oath just to be on the Texas Democratic ballot? Dennis Kucinich doesn't think so and has enlisted a prominent ally in his court battle with the Texas Democratic Party. Call them unlikely outlaws, said the Star-Telegram newspaper as country music legend Willie Nelson joined Kucinich in a legal appeal. At issue is the requirement of the Texas Democratic Party that all candidates seeking ballot access sign an oath to fully support the party's eventual nominee. Asserting that what the state party asked was un-American, Nelson applauded Kucinich's decision not to sign what they have both described as a blind loyalty oath. Dennis Kucinich is a strong defender of the Constitution, national security, and the civil liberties of the American people, asserted Nelson in a statement released to the press. On Friday, the Texas Supreme Court reviewed the matter and sent Kucinich back to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, where the campaign's attorneys expect to again argue the case next week. Now here's Weekly Update Director Dutch Merrick.
Despite the corporate media blackout, the congressman continues to consistently win online and local straw polls, like the one held by a group of Southern California Democratic clubs this past week, where he was the winner by a large margin. At the same time, our Weekly Update has been garnering several honors of its own. Thanks to your efforts last week, this show ranked number 3 amongst YouTube videos in News and Politics category and was the 15th most favorited video on all of YouTube for a day. Now we want to take a moment to show you a video put together just a couple of days ago by a young Kucinich supporter in Michigan.
Hi, this is Sarah Clymer from Wyoming, Michigan, and I want to say that Dennis Kucinich doesn't just speak for me, he votes for me as well. If you go to www.ontheissues.org/Dennis_Kucinich.htm, you can see Mr. Kucinich's voting record. And unlike any other politician I've ever seen, Dennis's voting record is a 100% accurate reflection of everything he's ever said. That's right, this is a politician who doesn't lie. Dennis Kucinich doesn't just speak for me, he votes for me. And that's why I voted for him. And you should too. Thanks.
Remind your friends and neighbors that there is a candidate that they won't have to cross their fingers to vote for, and that's Dennis Kucinich. With Dennis running in 4th place, we're hot on the heels of the corporate candidates. Together we can change the course of this nation by getting Dennis Kucinich to the White House.
Well, that's it for this week's Kucinich Update. For campaign information updated daily, log on to DennisForPresident.com. That's Dennis, the number 4, President.com. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching the Kucinich Weekly Update. Margaret Mead said, "Don't ever lose faith that a few well-intentioned people can change the world, because that's the only way the world has ever changed. A few well-intentioned." Rosa Parks, the woman against landmines, the wonderful woman in Kenya who plants the trees. That's how the world changes.
The answer is where your heart is at.